Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, executive producer and host as we celebrate 15 years on the air here with our friends at KHOU 11 and also on Odyssey Radio. We're so thankful to our media partners, and we're so happy to be hosting our Houston Legends today. With us is none other than Elizabeth Gonzalez Brock. She's a dear friend to myself and so many other people in this great city, and we're so proud of the work that she's doing for Metro. Thanks to John Whitmire, our mayor. He's appointed her as the first Latina to serve as chair of Metro. Our transit is critically important, and she's absolutely the right person to be at the helm. So we want to talk to you a little bit more about Elizabeth, her role as chair with Metro, and the many other great things that she's doing at Centerpoint and within the city. Elizabeth, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me here. This is such a great honor to be here.
Well, congratulations. You are one of our Houston legends, not only for what you're doing now, but what you've been doing, your career trajectory, and what a phenomenal story that you served as an intern to John Whitmire, our mayor, and fast forward, here you are heading up our transportation system at a time that couldn't be more important. So let's talk about that, Metro Now, and some of the plans that you've got, and certainly World Cup prep and making sure that we're ready to go.
Well, first of all, we are, our mayor is very clear about his expectations. First, our people first, right? We need to make sure that we have a robust transit system that is functioning for Houstonians. And so we are focused on core services and core experiences. When I take a look at our ridership and what we need to increase ridership, it's making sure that we're doing what we can in terms of making sure our riders feel safe. Mm-hmm. If people don't feel safe, they're not going to ride Metro. We want to make sure that our people also have, we know that everybody has options. Mm-hmm. You can take your car, you can take Uber. We want Metro to be the preferred option, and in order for us to do that, we have to be easy to use. Yes. Because you know as well as I do, if it's not one click away, if you have to do 2 or 3 clicks, people move on to something else. And so when people would rather pay $50 for parking than to take the bus, that's a problem. So we're trying to address that, to provide incentives and provide an experience for people that it is easier to take Metro, and that Metro is a cleaner, more reliable option than taking your car. So we want to provide those options for people.
So much of what you just mentioned is going to be reliant on technology. Mm-hmm. So what are you all doing as it relates to technology, and also benchmarking with other great cities that do have excellent transportation?
I'm so glad you asked that question. Interestingly enough, we just came from a meeting where we were talking about AI. Mm-hmm. We have all this data, but what are we going to do with that data? And the beauty about AI is that it doesn't necessarily give you 100%, but it can get you 80% of the way there, and then you can tweak it in order to understand what your traffic plan is going to be, or where you need to focus, what your focus areas are going to be. And so we're taking a deep look at how AI can help us get there faster. When we talk about now, we don't have time to waste. The World Cup is a year from now. Yes. And so we need to make sure that we have a transit system that is robust, and because the rest of the world is used to taking transit, right? And so we need to make sure that when people come to see Houston, it's a seamless transition, and that we're ready to serve people in the way they're used to being served.
Right. So you talked about safety.
Mm-hmm.
We see Metro Police all over the place. Has anything changed that is going to help make sure that we continue to be a safe city as it relates to Metro?
Absolutely. So the first thing we did was we appointed a new police chief. Chief Banton could not be more proud of the direction that he's taking Metro. He is so passionate about his job. One of the things that he said to our newly sworn in cadets was, remember that whenever you are interacting with a person that you're probably going to be meeting them on the worst day of their lives. And that is just such an important message for people to understand that our police force, we want to make sure that we have a police presence, so that we have police presence on the rail, we have police presence on our bus system. We also are decentralizing our police station and having trailers in different substations in different areas where there's hot spots. He's working on having a mobile unit so that we can take our police presence to where it's needed the most, because we know that when the bad guys see police presence, they're going to move, right? So we want to move to where they are as well. So whenever you see that police presence, they're there to make sure that people feel safe. Also, another thing that we're doing is we've contributed $10 million to the mayor's homeless initiative. And so we want to make sure that our transit, our bus shelters are being used for their stated purpose, not as a place for people to take shelter. And we want to get those people the help that they need so that they're able to get into wellness programs. So we're working with the city, we're working with the county in order to make sure that they're getting the help that we need, and so we can get focused on the work that we need to do.
Metro is so important in terms of these big events, one of which is the rodeo, a big role that you all play. Every time there's a rodeo, I'm sure there are lessons learned, and these all are experiences that are going to prepare us for the World Cup. So let's talk about that, and let's assure folks that Metro is ready.
Absolutely. So when we take a look at these events, we know that Houston is booming. People are coming here. We have conventions, we have the rodeo, and it's a really good example of how we should be operating on a daily basis, right? People should be getting out of their cars, should be taking transportation, and so we're looking at that experience and making sure that we not only have the transportation available, but that we have improved services, and that when the event's gone, guess what? You're going to find that everything is clean and everything is operating as it should be, as opposed to the event's gone and then it's like there's a mess left over. No, we're going to make sure that it is a seamless transition between events. We can scale up and we can scale down.
And let's remember, it also plays a vital role with our senior citizens who need to get to appointments to the medical center. And I don't think there's enough focus on that, or that people understand how easy, how convenient it can be.
So one of the things that we're doing is implementing our community connector. So we've had this program in place. It's in pilot form for over a year and a half now, where it's an on-demand service where operates much like Uber, where you use your app or you can call in and to pick you up and take you to where you need to be within your community. So we're seeing people utilize it for after-school programs, to get to the grocery store. If you can imagine being a mother of 3 or 4 and having to carry groceries at the same time, I know that's what my mother went through. So being able to have a community connector take you to the grocery store, bring you back, go to a doctor's appointment, after-school program, it is a very, very increasingly popular service that we're providing to solve for that first and last mile, because oftentimes the weather makes it even more challenging to travel long distances.
So we know that closing of a street, repairs on the street can cause growing pains, and you've had to make some tough decisions that were fixes that needed to occur, that perhaps were not popular but were the right thing to do. So what are some of the things that you're learning as chair in terms of your leadership?
So one of the things that I'm learning is that the transit industry is used to focusing on the growth of infrastructure versus the growth of ridership. And so we have doubled down on our focus on what's important to our customers, what's important to our community, and how we can help with mobility across the board. So not just focused on, we're focused on how we as a transit can provide better service. So if the roads are bumpy, if you can imagine being in a nice car, the road is bumpy, but then when you're in a bus, it's even bumpier. So we
Yes.
want to make sure that we provide a smooth ride. So we're looking at, paving the surfaces of the roads, also paving the sidewalks so that people, when they're walking to the bus shelters, making sure that the bus shelters are clean. So their overall experience, and making sure that traffic is moving. So we're also working with the City of Houston on synchronizing the lights in order to keep everything moving, because the one thing that Houston is experiencing is tremendous growth. And so
Yes.
we need to make sure that we are doing our part to coordinate with our stakeholders to keep us moving.
And collaboration.
And
So that you're
collaboration, yes.
talking and there's an understanding of, I mean, I imagine that it's got to be a lot of thought process to it in terms of which side of the road, and we've seen it in the news, right, where there have been opportunities that we've missed because there wasn't a conversation of when a street was going to be closed, when you could go ahead and knock it out all at once. Or I know a lot of complaints are that, how about we fix this street before we go and break up another one? So what does that conversation look like in terms of all of the collaborators that you all work with?
So we're really taking a look at just a macro view of all of the things that we need to be able to accomplish. What are the timelines? So, for example, we've got conventions coming up. We've got the World Cup coming up. We've also got the I-45 corridor
Yes.
that's under construction,
Yes.
I-10 that's under construction. So how do we do those projects in such a way to where we are being the least amount of disruption possible to the communities that we serve. We want to make sure our retail spaces are being successful and we're not holding up progress, and we want to make sure that people are able to get to where they need to be. So our on-time performance is really important. So in order to do all that, we all have to be collaborating, and we have to be making sure that we're rowing in the same direction.
Yes.
So collaboration with the mayor, with our county commissioners, TxDOT, all of that is really important.
Everyone needs to participate. So as we look ahead, what is something that you want to make sure people understand about Metro that maybe they don't?
That we have the ability to do great things. And what I mean by that is we can be transformational in people's lives when we can get somebody to their doctor's appointment, or get somebody to their to the grocery store, basic needs that are important, after school programs. That's having a transformational impact on their life. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. Is we can play the big picture of helping coordinate traffic and community and mobility and all those things, but at the end of the day, what's important is that we help people get to where they need to go. And so I think we can do both. We can encourage young people to take Metro, and we can host events and get people to where they need to go, or we can help transform people's lives on a daily basis that need to do what they need to do. So our reach is far, and if we challenge ourselves to do more, we can certainly do that.
Absolutely. And when we think about the downtown region, you all have done something specifically that are trying to roll out some initiatives there.
So a couple of things that we've rolled out. I've been just wildly impressed with how excited people are about our Downtown Connect service.
Yeah.
So we have a direct line from downtown to the airport, and it's been wildly popular. People said
Absolutely.
that we've needed that for a
Yes.
very, very long time. And so we've got that in place. We also have our downtown community connector that is circulating as well. And so we're looking to expand that service into other areas.
Yes.
and growing. So we're really, really excited.
Well, you should be, and so is Houston. And not a better time to be on top of all of this than now. You've been working on so many things throughout your career with Centerpoint, your government relations work to where you are now. You're a mother, you've got 2 young boys, and you are not only just involved in this, you're also involved with Houston First. So for you, as a young mother and a young woman, you have so much more still ahead of you. But at this point of where you are in your career as one of our Houston legends, what would you like your legacy to be?
I would like for my legacy to be that people remembered me as somebody who made a difference and somebody who cared. And, I tell people, when I meet young interns that every interaction you have with somebody is a job interview. And I want people to remember that I had an impact and that I cared and that I listened.
And you do all of those things with a velvet hammer. We're very proud of you, Elizabeth. Thanks for all that you have done. The entire Metro team is a very complex organization that is vitally critical to the success of the city. And Mayor Whitmire made an obvious, very good decision when someone could go in there, assess it, listen, and get the job done. So congratulations. Thank you for the support that you all have given to the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. And let me just say real quickly that I want to appreciate the work that you do to be a vessel for our voice and to deliver our message, and for being a role model to, not just to me but to all leaders in the Houston area. So thank you for all the work you do.
Absolutely. We're a small team, but we do our best to collaborate and bring the city together. We love Houston. I know you do. Go Cougs. And
Go Cougs.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. And we salute Elizabeth Gonzalez Brock as one of our Houston legends. Thank you. On behalf of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors and staff, we'd like to invite you to register for our Data Summit and Business Expo on Thursday, August 21st from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Thompson Hotel. Learn more about data that's relevant and important to this great city there at the Thompson Hotel, again at the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Data Summit and Business Expo. Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So happy to have our next guest here. His name is Ryan Walsh. You may have heard of the Houston Harris County Sports Authority. Well, he is the President and CEO, doing a phenomenal job. He's got a long history of community and civic activity. I think nothing more challenging than what he's currently doing. Luckily, he's got a great staff and certainly the support of our Mayor Whitmire, County Judge Hidalgo, county commissioners, and many, many others, and also the support of our chairman, Juan Garcia, and a staff that's second to none. So, Brian, welcome.
Hey, thank you so much. And don't forget to mention you're a board member too. We count on you as well. You're a big part of this.
Well, it has been an exciting ride, and certainly the 1 year celebration was over the top and exciting for our sponsors, exciting for the media, young people, volunteers, soccer fans, and people who've never heard of the World Cup are excited. And from a business perspective, we've been working very closely with your team to make sure that they participate in our chamber activities with an expo, information on how they can register, not just for the World Cup, which is significant, but all the many other events throughout the year that you all and that the teams are involved with here. So I'm going to stop there and just ask you to give people a real high level of where we are and what needs to happen between now and the World Cup next year.
Hey, thank you. And thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it. And you touched on something I think is very important, is that it's an opportunity for our local business, for Houston, to be a part of not just the World Cup coming up, but everything that the Sports Authority does. Houston has hosted more major events than any other city in the country since 2004 major events. And just since 2019, the economic impact of the Sports Authority's events is $1.2 billion. Now, that pales in comparison, I tell you, from a time perspective, in that the economic impact of the World Cup here in Houston alone is estimated to be $1.5 billion. So there's plenty to go around. We want the local businesses in Houston to be involved. FIFA is going to come in and have all the fun, but then they leave town. And Houstonians and the rest of us are going to be here, and we want to make sure that we're here to thrive long after the event comes, and certainly available for the next event that comes. So the Sports Authority has a lot going on. We're very busy, World Cup notwithstanding. That's the kind of the big elephant in the room. But We can't forget about AAU Junior Olympics. That's 15 to 20,000 students and their families from all over the country descending on Houston for about 10 or 12 different types of events that are going to be held all over the city of Houston at the end of the July and early August. We've got World Baseball Classic, we've got Battle of the Bands, and we've got a Sweet 16 at Toyota Center. And all of that happening before World Cup in 2026. So we're excited about it.
Right. And certainly great opportunity to continue to work with our local law enforcement, Metro, so many entities that all have their hands on all of these upcoming events, and you need volunteers. And people are asking how they can get involved. They're asking how they can do business. We encourage folks to visit the website so that you can get
Absolutely.
information. Come to the chamber events. They always have a representative there as well to answer questions. And Ryan, as you mentioned, the legacy that this will leave behind, the footprint, right? Once that the World Cup is gone, the footprint in terms of soccer fields and things of that nature. Talk about that a little bit.
No, you're absolutely right. And this is the largest sporting event in the history of the world. And certainly for Houston, it's a generational sporting event, and we want it to last long after. Part of what the World Cup in Houston and our host committee is doing is what we call grow the game, right? We want to grow the game of soccer in Houston. In order to do that, we're working with all four of our county commissioners and getting a little more than 20 of the parks that they have. We are going to provide for the rejuvenation of those soccer pitches in those parks, and we're creating a free soccer program for youth. Now, and I mean free. And as you know, soccer is a pay-to-play sport. You've got to pay for the equipment, for the team, for the uniform just to get there. This is going to be absolutely free, and it's not going to be just a couple of kids on a soccer pitch playing an actual organized league for everybody, right? For all of the youth in Harris County and Houston. And it's going to last long after the FIFA World Cup here is here at NRG Stadium. And we're excited about that. It's an opportunity to continue the love of soccer in Houston for everybody, not just those who can afford to play.
Absolutely. And certainly from the standpoint of being on the international stage, that people who perhaps have never been to Houston will come back. This
Yes.
is not just a one stop for them, and that they see the great things that the city has to offer, the hospitality, of course. And so, Ryan, to you, the team, the board, everyone who has touched this to make it a reality, we are so grateful, especially from the business community, that folks will be able to not only showcase Houston, but also serve their business, and Houston continue to be the hub of entrepreneurship that it has been. So my thanks to you, Ryan, and of course to our chairman, Juan Garcia, and team.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having me.
Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. It's always a pleasure to interview our elected officials, especially when they really understand the importance of our business community, the economic impact that Latinos and entrepreneurs in this great region provide. The City of Houston, as you know, has been working diligently on a budget that was proposed by Mayor Whitmire. And to talk to us a little bit about that and a whole lot more with us today is our city council member, and he is an at-large position 1 council member, none other than Julian Ramirez. Welcome, council member.
Good afternoon, Laura. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much. And it's been really, really nice working with you and your team.
Thank you.
And certainly having the opportunity to engage on a variety of fronts, especially most recently, as we continue to find solutions and opportunities for our businesses within the city of Houston. We appreciate your support and also your independent thinking to make sure that we do what is in the best interest of all, and that we provide a level playing field. So for that and so much more, we thank you, council member. We thank you and your entire team for all the due diligence that you all do every day to represent this great city.
Well, I appreciate that. And I enjoy having the Hispanic Chamber as a partner and getting some good counsel from you and your members. It really helps us do a better job of representing the city, which is what we're charged with doing.
Thank you. So let's talk about this budget, right? There have been a lot of priorities, and now that that's done, why don't we focus on what is next for you in your role?
Right. Well, we've got the budget passed us. Not a perfect budget, but there's a lot of good stuff in there. And I think it puts us in a position to move forward and put the city on a better financial footing. Post budget, we're going to deal with the capital improvements program budget. And then I will focus on some of the things that keep coming up that Houston residents complain about, like noise, human trafficking, and so forth. So I respond to what the residents are concerned about. And along with public safety, of course, which we hear everywhere we go, there are these nagging little other types of issues that really affect our quality of life. And we want everybody to enjoy living here in Houston.
So I imagine that the phone calls don't stop, as you mentioned, and listening to constituents is so very critically important. But now this is your second round doing this. I'm sure a lot of lessons learned. And so what are you doing differently now? What are the opportunities now that you have more time there on City Council?
I feel like I'm a little more focused now, that I have a year's worth of complaints, if you will, and comments and suggestions that I have to draw upon. And certainly, I think I'm working a little quicker because of that knowledge base that I've acquired in that first year. And I feel like we've become more efficient at what we're doing here.
So cities and the way their government works varies from city to city. In Houston, we have a strong mayor form of government. Tell us your thoughts about that. What are some of the pros to that type of governance?
Well, you have a single dominant decision maker, right? And so that makes it easy for decisions to be made. However, we need to find a way to have council play more of a role in setting our city's agenda and addressing priorities. Not that the current mayor is doing a bad job. I don't want to suggest that at all. But just as a form of government, a very strong mayor form of government can have its drawbacks. And so what I'd like to see going forward for the next administration and the one after that is for council to be able to play a larger role in decision making and setting policy.
So for folks who are watching us, what are ways that they can get involved as part of this decision-making process or even communicating with their council members such as yourself?
Sure. Well, you have to know when the meetings are held. Some of our meetings are well attended. Many are not, and that's unfortunate. You also have to know how you can access them. You don't have to come down to City Council and be present for a meeting. Every meeting that we have has an online option. I'm about to go into a public comment session, right? And so those who are present will be able to comment, but you can watch from the comfort of your home or wherever you are on a computer screen, just as we're talking right now. So being informed about when the meetings are. Houston has many, many boards and commissions that are involved in what we do here at the city as well. So take the time to familiarize yourself with those boards and commissions, which are listed on the city website, and find out when they meet. And if you feel like getting involved, contact either the mayor's office or one of your council members. There are 5 at-large council members. I'm one. And then we have 11 district council members as well. So get involved, familiarize yourself with your government, and that's how your voice is heard, and we can be better representatives of you.
And on that website, for everyone watching, there is a section that is entitled Boards and Commissions, and there are a variety of open seats on these boards and commissions. You can self-nominate, you can nominate someone else. It's a great opportunity for you to get involved, as was mentioned by our council member. It's a great way to contribute to your time and also give that insight. So take a look at it, go online and sign up for consideration, nominate someone else. And if you have it, maybe this summer might be a good opportunity, especially if you have younger people in your family who've never gone out to listen and watch a city council meeting. I think that's a great educational experience for the young and not so young to participate in. Council member, to you and your team, thank you for all that you do. And most importantly, thank you so much for being such a good partner of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, for taking our phone calls, for showing up. We saw you most recently at our 15th anniversary, where we celebrated 15 years on television, and we wanted to have the opportunity to interview you again since you were first elected. And we wish you continued success, and know that the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is here to provide you with support.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the 15th anniversary. I hope you have many more, and I look forward to continuing our partnership and working together to make Houston a better place to live.
Thank you, Councilmember. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.
All right.